Also to get it published in good quality journal, because many time you write a very good article and because of ignorance or unawareness you get it published in a low quality journal or predatory journal, and when you are applying for some position or when you are somebody say that your article is not published in good quality journal, or you cannot have a research score for that. So to avoid that, it is important to understand how to choose a quality journal and how to avoid publishing in predatory journals and low quality journals. Because we all know that now open access is something reality and it's very important. So in this presentation, I will start and will talk about these issues concerning uh, predatory publishing. So the topic which mentioned here, how to avoid publishing in predatory journals and low quality journals. So what is important to consider if you want to publish good research writings? So it is important uh, how what to write, how to write, and it is also important uh, what to publish, how to publish, where to publish. We should publish in open access journals or traditional journals. So all these questions, some of the questions I have answered in my previous presentation, and some remaining ones I will answer in this presentation. See, there is different bodies. I talked about Committee on Publication Ethics. Another body I'm talking here is BAMI. BAMI is basically a non-profit voluntary organization, which is basically dealing in medical science journal. But they have developed certain kind of guidelines for quality journal. So I'm bringing to your notice that you should go through it and just read what are the various kind of uh, issues mentioned by the BHAMI in terms of, like, when you are choosing a journal, how to choose a good quality journal. So there are certain kind of important things mentioned in this BHAMI website, which talk about uh, like how should be the name of the journal, what should be the peer review process, what you need to look into ownership and governing body, editorial team, what kind of copyright and licensing issues you need to look after, and how to really see that relevant author fee, because even predatory journals are also charging author fee. But there is a difference between a quality open access journal and predatory journal. So how to really identify uh, and plagiarism and research misconduct, I have already explained you. Uh, and various other issues, like, not in case of online journal, you also need to see that how the access is being provided. What about long-term preservation? Is it like today you publish an article and tomorrow the website is no more? So you lost your article. And what kind of revenue generating process, promotion of your journal, where you are publishing, all these issues are very, very important. So, and there are certain kind of professionalism code of conduct. This you can go through it and maybe read it. Uh, and also to deal with these issues concerning research misconduct, how journals are taking care of that. So every journal has policy, which I have already explained to you in COPE guidelines. So now let's talk about how to choose a quality journal. What should be the quality parameters of a good journal, reputed journal? So first thing is, what we need to look is editorial board, because it is important to see who all are in editorial board. Do you know them? Are they expert in your field? Or they have some kind of standing, some kind of reputation of being a good expert, good resource person in your area of interest? Only then you can. So first thing, you need to look into the editorial board of the journal. Then what are the aims and objective and scope of the journal? Your article should match the scope of the journal, because if your article you are publishing, your article is on biological sciences, and you are published in a humanity journal, interdisciplinary journal, which is having less audience of biological sciences. So basically what you need to look into that there should be perfect matching between your scope of your article and scope of the journal. Now, what is the stature of the journal in the field? Suppose if I ask, what is a Harvard Business Review? It's the best management journal in the field. Anybody can tell it. So similarly, in each and every field, there are best journals. So there are journals which are less reputed or more reputed or low quality journals. So on the basis of its reputation, you should decide that this journal is relevant or useful or reputed or not. And also you need to look into the peer review process time taken by the journal, how much time it take, because generally many journals take more time. So you should not submit an article to a journal which is taking a longer time. Try to find out a journal which is efficient and effective and fast. And what is the track record of journal in it is continuously published, or it's a gap, or it's a running late? Then citation matrix, impact factor, and other citation parameters should also need to be looked into that. You should not publish in any journal which is not having ISSN number. And where publisher is located, are you familiar with the location? Is there any physical address given or not given? And how is the quality of the website of the journal? Because now everything is website driven. And how journal is popular. So these are some of the common parameters. So whenever you are thinking of a journal which should have your article, you should look for at least these minimum things. Now, other important thing which you need to look before we talk about predictive journal is that whatever summation you are making, these summations should not be something irrelevant or illegitimate. Those summations should be based on regulation guidelines. Like publishing same paper or substantially similar paper with or without citation, with or without obtaining permission of copyright holder. It is a violation. There may be a journal with very little difference or superfluous difference. Basically, you are using the same data and writing the new contents. So basically, in this case, we call it duplicate or redundant publishing. You have to be very careful because it is also considered self-plagiarism. So you should follow certain guidelines in case of similar or substantially less similar paper, less differentiated paper. So in this, this is important. Like suppose if you have published some paper and you are republishing by taking data and all those things, you need to look into that. Is it essential to publish it? And besides that, you also need to take approval of the copyright holder and also editor of both the journals. And you need to declare in the journal that this information was previously published. Like if it is a large amount of information in form of a data sets or in form of the text, if you are reproducing something, you should declare that this text was previously published in so and so journal, and also need to seek permission of that copyright holder. The second is simultaneous publishing, means submitting same paper simultaneously in 2 or more journals. It is not allowed. It is also known as duplicate publishing or multiple submissions. In this case, suppose if you are feeling that journal is taking more time, so the best thing is that you should withdraw your article first, write to the publisher and request that I want to withdraw my paper. And once you got the permission from that previously submitted article editor, then you can submit it to the other journal. Without permission, suppose somebody is not responding for a long, then you should give them last warning that I didn't receive any response, and now I'm withdrawing my paper and submitting somewhere else. And keep a copy of that email with you. So, and when if you feel there are certain papers which are very similar or related, then in that case, you have to disclose the details of both the papers to editors of both the journals, where earlier paper was related paper was published, or also to the new editor where you are proposing to get it published. You also need to inform editors of both the journal and also need to attach the copies of the both the journals. I give you an example. I was the member of his investigation committee formed by a very reputed scientific organization of this country. So I was talking to some distinguished scientist. He submitted two papers using the same data in two Elsevier science journals. So one paper was accepted, and the editor of the other paper also came to know, because Elsevier is having a common database, and papers when submitted are open for the reviewers and editors. So that particular editor came to know that this similar data set already used in other paper also. So in that case, the scientist was warned, and then I was asked to investigate the matter. And while investigating, I asked the scientist why you have done it, and his answer was that, sir, I was not aware of that fact. You cannot submit two articles with same data, so you have to be very careful. Then another important issue which you should know is salami slicing or salami publication. What is that salami slicing? Slicing of research contents from a meaningful paper to different papers. Or why people do it? People do it to increase the publication count, to get more recognition, to get promotion, to get several funding, but it is not allowed. You cannot break up your study in parts, in small studies without any logic. In case your paper has already been published in one language and you want to publish in other language, for example, your paper has been published in Odia, now you want to publish in English. So in that case, what you have to do, you have to seek permission of the editor of the Odia language journal. And you have to enclose and you have to make this declaration to the editor of the English journal where you are submitting for acceptance. You have to inform the editor that this article was previously published in Odia language in so and so journal. Now I want to get it published for wider publicity or wider dissemination of knowledge. And you should attach the copy of both the journals, English and Odia, to the editor. And also it is important to seek the permission of the Odia language journal. So by following this, you can publish same paper in different languages. Then many times you do certain project where ghost writing is involved. Ghost writing by the individual, ghost writing by companies also. So I'm sure you're aware of the ghost writing. Ghost writing is something like pseudo author or something which. So in that case also you need to disclose the specific details of the author, ghost writer in the contents, and you need to properly acknowledge them. Right? So you should not publish or submit any contents which are like that. Now moving ahead, where to publish? So we have different publication model, traditional model, open access models, hybrid model. So traditional subscription model, like all journals which were in print earlier, now either print online or basically available in online format only. Then there are open access journal which are having different models, like some are having gold open access model, free to reader, author pays a fee, author processing charges, platinum open access, free to author, free to reader. And there are some delayed open access model, like it is a traditional journal, but after some time it is available free under open access. So when we talk about open access journals, there are three categories: full open access journal, all contents open access; hybrid open access journal, where some contents are open access, some are subscribed; and delayed open access, we call it embargo period. With embargo, delayed access is available. So there are some other model like bronze, black, greatest, libre model. So black model is something we call it Sci-Hub, where illegal open access is available. So now here we are concerned about one model which is called gold route to open access. What is that gold route? The author or author's institution or the research project funding agency pay a fee to the publisher at publication time to make the publication available free at the point of access. Means author processing charges are considered like that. All those self-archiving model are called green open access. Generally, institutional repository or other kind of institutional archives are comes under. So, if you remember, some time back there was newspaper. There were some items regarding some. There was some U.S. federal government has filed a case against Hyderabad-based publisher Omex Group for violating or making the false claims about peer reviewing and listing editors who have not agreed to be associated with the journals. The case is still going on. During that time, there was a librarian called Jeffrey Weil from the University of Colorado in Denver, USA. He coined this word predatory journals. And after that, this new definition of predatory journals emerged. So basically, a predatory journal is publication that asks for manuscript and ask for processing charges, but they publish very mediocre or even worthless papers. So broadly speaking, predatory journal is a kind of open access publishing model journals in which article processing charges are being paid by the author. However, these journals are lacking on quality and legitimacy parameters. Means they are similar, they are following gold open access route, but they are violating ethical guidelines. Now, how common are predatory journals? As of 2015, there were an estimated 996 predatory publishers, including 447 publishers of standalone journal. And these publishes 11,800 journals. Out of that, roughly 8,000 journals are still active, and they have published over 4,20,000 articles. And who is publishing in this? Hundreds of thousands of researchers worldwide have published in so-called predatory journals in recent years. Among them are researchers from renowned research institutes and universities, employees of federal authority. Even a Nobel laureate has published in so-called predatory journals. If you see the country-wise statistics, India is leading. In 2015, India was having 2,092 predatory journals. So South Korea was having least, but almost every, including USA, was having 800 plus. These predatory publishers, what they are doing, they are exploiting the gold open access model for their own profit. They take advantage of and exploit and pander to scholarly authors. They predict to be legitimate, copying established and respected journals, websites, and practices, but they are not. they do fake or fake peer review, or don't do the peer review. And open access journals may solicit authors to publish for a fee, but maintain high standards for peer review and editing. The goal of open access publishing is to disseminate research to a larger audience by removing paywalls. Here, purpose is not to earn, because many of these open access journals are funded by government agencies and some NGOs and some companies working for the benefit of the society. And these open access journals are are listed in many impact factors databases like Scopus or Web of Science, and they have different citation mechanism and other things. So how to check your journal is reputed journal? So there are a number of things which I'm going to tell you in this presentation. If it is an open access journal, it must be listed in open access journal directory of open access journal. If it is a medical science journal, it should be indexed in databases like Medline. Similarly, there are different subject discipline bodies. You can check it in that this should not be part of CABLE's blacklist. And these journals should have impact factor or must be very good website. And whenever you have any doubt, you should check with your librarian. Besides, I will also give you some tips. Before that, why people publish pedantry journals? See, this all started like in the world now. More researchers are emerging because of growth in population, number of institutions. There is a more demand to have more academically established reputed journals, but at point of time it is not possible to accept each and every article. So the researcher whose papers are not accepted in high quality journals, they try to look for alternative. So one is that these pedantry journals are trying to provide an alternative for those who are not getting opportunity to publish in high quality journals. Second, many policies for promotion, like if you remember in 2010, India started API score, like for promotion and recruitment. You need to have a particular research score. We call it API score. And because of that, many people start publishing in these kind of journals. And business people want to earn. There are companies, publishers who want to earn something. So that's why they found it a good revenue generation model. And what is the harm in this process? These pedantry publishers are publishing very inferior quality journals, articles, and without peer review. So first of all, the quality of articles published in these journals are not good. Second thing, these publishers are not very well established or very well supported systems. So after some time, these may disappear. So what will happen after these journals are no more? What happened to your article published? You cannot have access to that. It means your all hard work gone. Many times these journals are not listed in Scopus, Web of Science or good indexing databases. So your article is not reaching to the large number of people. And second thing, sometimes they create some kind of scam, or sometimes when you apply for a post and you have been labeled that your article has been published in a pedantry journal, it's kind of disgrace to you. So it is not good for anybody, for the scholarly communication industry, for institution, for individual. It is not good for anybody. And ultimately they are damaging the scholarly journal publishing value chain. How to identify? low quality journal, fake journal, or peer review journal in terms of open access. Basically, no single individual is identified as a specific journal editor. You will see a big editorial board, but you will not find a good a single editor. They don't have a like review board or peer review system, referees, another thing. Uh, Even they don't have formal editorial board. And many times the people who are in the board or editor, they may not have the qualification in the required area. They always provide insufficient information. These are not indexed in good databases. Name of a journal is unrelated with journal's mission. The name of a journal does not adequately reflect its origin. They always use boastful language claiming to be leading publisher, reputed publisher, even though publisher may only be startup or novice organization. They have started last year and they are saying that they are the well-reputed publisher. Their website is very poorly maintained. There are a lot of spelling mistake and grammar. They publishes anything like even if you are changing the name of somebody in his paper and getting it published, they will publish it. You can take any kind of images, they will not ask for copyright permission. They are willing to publish anything, whatever you want. Many times they don't, most of the time, they don't check the contents, they just get it published. They don't have infrastructure and staff for copy editing, proofreading. And their contact us page does not provide complete details except email address. Uh, Sometimes they all are very multidisciplinary, and you will find a word international publisher in their names. So before publishing, you should check. You should have a checklist. Like, do you or your colleague know that journal? Can you identify the contact detail of the publisher? Is the journal clear about type of peer review system they are using? Our articles are indexed in Scopr, Web of Science, or good quality indexing sources. What about their fee charged is justified? Do you recognize the editorial board? Are these journals are member of recognized industry initiative like COPE, DOAJ, OASP, etc.? So some of these things you should check before you get it. Besides, there are different sites which help you. This Beall's list of edited journal is not in the existence, but you can use ThinkCheck, Summit, predatoryjournals.com, Cable's Blacklist. All these databases can help you in identification of a predatory journal. Now, another important thing is that how to choose a quality journal. Suppose if you want to publish in an open access journal, then there is a way to find out quality of open access journal. You can check in directory of open access journals. You can check in hygiene factors, free open access journals. You can check in Open Access Scholarly Publishers Association. You can check in International Committee of Medical Journal Editors. So these are the few the list where you can check a good quality journal. Okay, this is I'm talking about the open access. But now in the next part of my presentation, I'm talking about overall scenario. I'm talking about overall quality of the journal. Like when you get it published in any journal, there are certain important things. The most important thing is that in India, we have certain regulations. I mentioned to you that in 2009, in the UGC CARE notification was issued, and basis of that, UGC CARE list of quality reference journals have been launched. So now, as an Indian researcher, it is mandatory for you to publish in the journal which are listed in UGC CARE list. If the journal where you are publishing your article is not part of UGC CARE list, you will not get research score for it. So you have to be very careful. How to choose a quality journal? Before After that, you should also see the journal is part of UGC care list or not. So what is this UGC care list? It is in two groups, list group 1, list group 2. What is the list group 2? Journals indexed in globally recognized databases. The UGC care list includes those journals which are part of Scopus uh, databases or Web of Science, Art and Humanities, Citation Index, Source Publication, Science Citation Index, Expanded Source Publication, Social Science Citation Index, Source Publication. So all these journals which are included in these indexing databases, you don't have any problem in publishing it. You can publish it. Like you also ensure that these journals are keeps on changing. So you have to be before submitting your article, you need to check it. Now, those journals which are not part of group 2 and other quality journals, particularly Indian journals, for that a list group 1 has been launched. So these journals found qualified through UGC care protocols. So such Indian journals, particularly in arts, humanities and language, culture, Indian knowledge system, etc., are being decided by a competent authority, and more than 300 journals are included in that. Okay. So this UGC notification is there, but in this case also you have to be very careful. Many people are having cloned journals. They are misusing this UGC care list also. So what they have done, like there is this journal called AVRU, which is part of UGC care list, but they have started a journal called AVRU journal, which is not part of UGC list. So you have to be very careful of these clone journal also. Now, how to choose a quality journal? So there are certain kind of procedure. So what I suggest to you, first you should compile a list of not list. First you prepare the abstract of your article and the title of the article. And on the basis of that, there are certain databases and certain uh, kind of tools which help you in choosing a good quality journal. So what are these tips? There are many publishers who have developed some kind of journal finders. So when you are choosing a journal, you have various options. What are these options? Either you can choose a journal from a particular. Suppose you want to publish it in elsewhere. So you can directly go to the particular publisher website and choose a journal. Or if you want to publish in a journal which is not, you don't know any publisher, you don't know anything. So then you go to the journal finder list, which is commonly developed by the as an aggregator. So, but before that, there are certain tips you should know about it. First is the topic of the journal publishes. If your research is applied, target a journal that publishes applied science. If it is clinical, target a clinical journal. If it is basic research, target a journal that publishes basic research. You may find it easier to browse a list of journals by subject areas. Now, second important thing you should look for is journal's audience. Will researcher in the related fields be interested in your study? If so, a journal that covers a broad range of topics may be best. If only researcher in your field are likely to want to read your study, then a field-specific journal would be the best. Now, third thing, the type of articles the journal publishes. You should look what kind of articles this journal is publishing. If you are looking to publish a review, case study, or theorem, ensure that your target journal accepts these types of manuscripts. So in the journal guidelines, subject, scope, coverage, you should go for it. The reputation of the journal. A journal's impact factor is one measure of its reputation, but not always the most important. You should consider the prestige of the authors that publishes in the journal and whether your research is of small level or not. So in that basis of that, you can decide it. And what are your other personal requirements? Does journal usually publish articles quickly? Is the time of publication important for you? So I think keeping those things in mind, you can decide. Now, as I mentioned, you have written an article, and you know you want to publish in Elsevier Science Journal. So what you will do? You go to Journal Finder of the Elsevier Science and enter title and abstract of your paper to easily find journals that could be best suited for publishing your article. Basically, Journal Finder uses smart search technology and field of research specific vocabularies to match your paper to scientific journals. So that will help you in uh, selecting a journal from Elsevier Science. Now, similar thing, if you want to publish in the journals, you want to choose a journal from Web of Science group. So what you have to do, you need to prepare an abstract and also the article. So this master journal list of Web of Science group is an invaluable tool to help you to find the right journal for your need across multiple indices hosted on the Web Science platform. So in this platform, you can find journals from across all the publishers, spanning all discipline and regions. It includes Web of Science core collection as a heart of the Web of Science platform, curated with care by an expert team of in-house editors. Web of Science core collection includes only journals that are demonstrated high levels of editorial rigor and best practices. So basically here, using this master journal list, you can find out the highly reputed, best quality journal relevant to your area of your interest. I hope you got my point. Now, similarly, there are some aggregators like this. There is a database called Journal Author Name Estimator. So, suppose you have written a paper and you want to search a journal. So, same thing, prepare the abstract and the title of the paper, and then go to this JNA, Journal Author Name Estimator, and even you can use certain kind of keywords also. So this basically the JNA is having data on PubMed, which can provide various help in removing the predatory journals. Next is the journal guide. Find the best journal for your research. So same thing. This particular this has been developed by American Journal Express. In this same thing, title of the manuscript and abstract of the manuscript, and search for it, and you can find out the which journal you want to publish. Then this Vanderbilt University of Medical Center, it is mostly for medical science journals. They have also developed this Spy Hub, not Sci Hub. So this is a scholarly publishing information hub. So it helps in identification of journal in which to publish your research. So in this, you can find out a particular journal. Then Wiley is also having a journal finder database, and same thing. There are two ways to find out a journal in this database. One is the basis of manuscript title and manuscript abstract, but also if you want to find out the journal, there are using keywords you can find out a journal also. Springer Nature is also having a journal suggester. So this covers over 2,500 journals, which include all Springer and BMC journals. So if you want to publish your research, your article in Springer or BMC journal, then you can choose it. Basically, these kind of information which is available in these databases is something which is very helpful in choosing a journal. But now I would like to tell you what are the steps you should follow. This is the first step you should do it. First, you select a journal in which you want to publish. Now you have decided this is the most suitable journal. Now, as a second step, you should go to UGC care list and you should search for the group 2 first. And in group 2, you find out is that journal which you are going to publish is included in UGC care list or not. If it is not available in group 2, it may be available in group 1. But so there is a simple login system in UGC care list. You just search using keywords or title of the journal, and you will be able to know that journal which you have selected, is it part of UGC care list or not. So then you should submit your article. So in this entire research cycle process, my suggestion is that you should be very systematic. You should, whenever you start writing an article, before writing your complete article, first you should choose a article journal. In journal, what is the advantage of choosing journals? First advantage is that you will be able to know that this journal is part of UGC care list or not. And second most important advantage is that after choosing a journal, you should go to the guidelines of the journal. Every journal is having certain guidelines for submission of article or writing on article. So follow the guidelines and write the article as per the structure recommended by that guidelines in that particular journal. What kind of it is linked at the writing process also. What kind of citation style you should use? You should use APA or MLA, or you should use any other citation style, because at the time of the submission, your article should be in accordance with the guidelines of that particular journal. So in that context, guidelines will help you in first in checking is it part of UGC care list or not. Second thing, it will help you in understanding the structure of the article. Third thing, it will help you in citation. And most important thing, it will help you in avoiding publishing in low quality journals, because it is not important how many articles you have published. As a reputed researcher, it is important that how many quality articles you have published and how many of that quality articles have published in high impact factor journals or good quality journals. Because your research reputation is measured on the basis of your quality publication, quality publishing. Whenever you apply for any position, they ask you the list of 5 papers submitted. And what is seen in those papers? It is seen in that first thing is seen is that where the article has been published, in which journal it has been published. So the reviewer, referee, examiner, selection committee, first they always go at which journal is your article has been published in. Basis of the journal, they estimate the quality of your research. They visualize the reputation of your research. They see you as a quality researcher. So the choosing a quality journal is very, very important. Apart from that, Visibility. A good quality journal make is visible to the worldwide community. If journal is not of quality, it is not reaching to the masses. So if your research is reaching to the more people, you are getting more citation, you are getting more research reputation. Apart from that, and another important thing is that uh, many times we need to decide, shall we publish in uh, good quality journals, or shall we publish in uh, uh, traditional journal or open access journals. That is the decision one has to take. Now, there are advantages of publishing in open access journals. My recommendation and my suggestion is that your visibility is more in case if you publish in open access journals, and you get more citation because more number of people are using that research. Besides citation, another advantages of publishing in open access journal is that uh, it is helping the research community worldwide. As a society, as a good human being, we should encourage and we should promote publishing in open access journals. So, and the open access journals are of different kinds. You have to, it is not necessary that you go only for open access journal, which are totally open access journal. There are a number of hybrid journals, like take example, Nature. Nature publish open access articles also. Definitely their processing charges, ABC charges are very high. Similarly, if you talk about Royal Society of Chemistry, you talk about Sage Publishing, all kind of publisher publishes hybrid journals. And now what is coming up in the new academic world, if you have heard of a model called Plan S in Europe, where there is certain kind of guidelines that those European Union has made it compulsory that based on the funding, all the articles should be published in open access journal, which are having CC, a common Creative Commons licensing. So and there is a lot of discussion on issues like rights retention system, like because in coming years, this is going to be very important, that how scholarly community can help other scholars to break the monopoly of the these commercial publishers to publish more and more in open access journals. So in this regard, a lot of discussions are going on worldwide, and particularly in Europe or US, there are a lot of focus on publishing in open access journal. But in the same time, we also need to promote our Indian journals. See, a good quality journals, a good quality articles can make a journal, reputed journal. Sometimes we ignore our Indian publications, so that also we should think over it. So I think these were some of the thoughts regarding uh, uh, this about the quality of journals. I have some more time for interaction in this session. So now it is over to you to have any interaction, questions, suggestions, queries. Uh, Not necessary on this session. Even if you have left something which you have not asked me on the last presentation, you are free. So now it's open to you all. Thank you.
Sir, this is Dr. Hirak Chakraborty from Sambalpur University.
Yes, Dr. Chakraborty.
So yeah. So don't you think this API system introduced by the UGC for the promotion of college and university teachers that led to the onset of these spurious journals in India, and which is now known as the hub of all predatory journals?
Yes, there it has played an important role, but only API score is not responsible for mushrooming of predatory journals. There are a number of other factors also. API score is one of them. Second option is the kind of business proposition we have in this country. Because sometimes we don't follow ethics, and we love to misuse the like a kind of uh, our young mind or young researchers. Like this is true that everybody cannot publish in high quality journals. So now those who cannot publish in high quality journal, they should have an alternative. So these predatory publishers have also misused that alternative. They have looked for opportunity that India is having a large number of researchers. See, if you see the Indian research in 2009, we were at a number 11 in terms of number of articles published, and in 2015 we moved to number 5. So in 6 years we reached at number 5 in terms of large number of articles contributed, published by a country. So in that context, like people are writing more, and we don't have high quality journal in that context to publish everybody's. So that was the another reason. And third was somewhere, I think, our mindset, our research of numbers. We give weightage to how many articles you have published. We don't give weightage how many quality articles you have been published. In my opinion, asking for a PhD scholar to publish 3 papers is unjustified. Even if they can publish one good quality paper in the entire research, that should be more than sufficient. So focus should not be that you publish 3 articles. Focus should be that you should try to publish at least 1 article. So I think somewhere this number game is also responsible for mushrooming of predatory journals.
Yeah, so end of the day, it's again the policy at the decision making level, especially in the UGC level, that actually what I feel is basically led to these mushrooming journals.
True.
And second more thing, if you see in any Western country, I mean to say the Western Europe and USA, as well as in Japan, there is no kind of care database. So they look at the quality. But what happened in India, that is it the incapability of the university and the local college administration to evaluate a particular faculty, whether he will be associate or professor or not, we entered into some kind of number game. And that number game led to publish this care journal. And you also know that there are a lot of predatory journals that are also in the care list. Keep on changing.
I little differ on this view. Reason, India is a different, India is having different social system, education system, mindset, people and society as compared to Western world or other developed country. Because, like, give you an example. If you go to any shop in US and return anything, they will not ask you question. Immediately refund is given. If you go to any Indian shop, they will not return you. They will say, exchange kar lijiye, you should take something else in return and all those things. So what I'm telling you is that somewhere we need regulatory mechanism, because our people are not self-regulatory. They have mindset. People love to break the law. People love to break the rules. If you trust them, and this is true, I agree with you that our system have failed. Like when we appoint people, if we go only on merit, then these regulation may not require. But we are not very fair in that. We are not very transparent in that. So all these, it may be API score, it may be UGC care list. It is not because our policymakers want it. It is because as a citizen, as a society, we fail to develop a trust among the policy makers that we are the people who are transparent, who are honest in doing things. All these regulations, all the laws comes only when people of a society or people of that country does not follow the self-regulation, does not have policy makers does not have failed that what they are doing is transparent and without any unvoiced. That is the difference between our society. I think maybe sometime I hope that we may have that kind of society in this country. But somewhere I think these mindset need to be changed, and UGC care list is required because of, I think I support it, because if you have to stop these predatory journals, you have to have some mechanism, and this is a good step in that direction. Regarding you are saying that there may be some predatory journals in UGC list, it's very clearly written in the UGC care list website. If you know any journal is a predatory journal, you just write a mail to them. They will review it and they will try to remove it. That they have every 6 months they are meeting. There is an empowerment committee which is taking care of that, and on basis of the evaluation process, such journals, many journals have been removed from that particular, because there are chances of predatory journal in list 2, because list 1, list 2 is already of the Scopus journal or Web of Science journal. So if any journal is included in Scopus or Web of Science, and if you feel it is a predatory journal, then international community has to respond.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, it's a very learning things that you have already told, sir. First session and second session also, it was very informative. I have one question, sir. Decades ago, there were only few number of open access journals available in publications, but now there are number of open access journals having high impact factors. Like take an example of plus one journals. Initially it was having 4.2, and now the impact factor is decreasing, so it has reached up to 2.2 or something like that. So what is your view on whether the open access journals are diluting the quality of research publications, or whether they are the journals which are responsible for commercialization of science publishing? What is your view on it, sir?
See, open access movement was started to break the monopoly of the commercial publishers, because many of the commercial publishers are demanding very high price, and that struggle is still going on. But what happened during this last maybe 5 to 6 years, there is some problems in open access movements. It has been hijacked. It has been diluted by certain commercial interest, like this mushrooming of predatory journals. It is not just in India. Like in US, there are more than 900 predatory journals. In other countries, because India is having just 3,000, but there are more than 8,000 predatory journals. So even the best of the countries are having predatory journals. So these predatory journals have somewhere, I think, derailed the process of open access movement. And that is the reason they have created confusion in the mind of the researcher that they should publish in open access journals or not. And this is not without anything vested interest. Certain people have, and that who knows, there may be some commercial publishers involved in it, in encouraging such kind of situation. Now coming back to like impact factor of open access journal, it varies, like which platform it is being, because there is a mushrooming of open access journals also. So like who is supporting it, and what is the peer review system, what is the model? So every open access journal is not a quality open access journal. Now we have to find out the various parameters. We have to evaluate that open access journal on our parameters before publishing our article in open access journal. Many of the open access journals are having very high impact factor journal. And some of the open access journals are not that good quality. So somewhere I think quality of open access depend upon if people of high ranking, highly recommended researcher, if they start publishing in like if you talk about the PubMed journals, they are very highly ranked. All journals and many other open access journals are having very high impact factor. But somewhere I think there is some issues which open access movement people have to resolve it. They have to understand that this predatory publishing and also some other factors have damaged. And now with this Plan S model in Europe, we see a good direction to encourage and enhance open access movement in the world.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Yes,
Sir,
please.
I'm Birendra Bera from Biotech Department, Sambalpur University. Sir, thank you for a nice informative talk. I have typed 3-4 questions. I'll be citing it or reciting it. So what about citing a predatory journal? Means so while writing a article, we have to cite, we have to give references. So can we say cite the predatory journals, or we have to check with which articles we are citing? Those are from predatory journal or not? We have to check it or not.
See, basically, citation from any journal is not an issue. You can cite anything, predatory journal or any kind of publication. So there is no any restriction or any kind of connectivity with the publishing, because citation is different and publishing is different. So
Sir, my question is that you have told that I have published my article, and the next day the publisher was gone, the journal was shut down. So what about my article? So similarly means if I have cited one predatory journal and the next day it was omitted from the database. So what will be the about my citation?
see, my clear-cut recommendation is that don't cite a predatory journal. If you know it is a predatory journal, don't cite it, because that will downgrade quality of your article. And second, you have mentioned a problem that tomorrow if that particular journal is no more, so then citation verification is not possible. So I think better not to cite a predatory journal or any low quality journal in your, because then people will evaluate your research based on your citation also, that what kind of article you have read to write a, so your quality of your article will also be downgraded.
So in that case, we have to search, say, while referring or while writing one paper, generally we search, we Google the means what kind of who are doing the similar kind of research what I have done. So that kind of thing we generally do while writing a paper. So in that case, we don't generally 99% people will not be bothering about the predatory, it is a predatory or not. They will not be searching whether the journal which I am citing that is the predatory or not. So so in that case, how to cite one means that before citing that we have also to go through the UGC care list or not. From
See,
writing
my recommendation is that whenever you are citing anything from any journal, you should be sure about the quality of journal. It's not Leela, when you,
मैडम लीला आपने
तो
ओके
so what happened if you are citing from a predatory journal, that article may be fake, that article may be of low quality, so and this article may be plagiarized. So there is a fear that if you cite an article from a predatory journal, then your research may be plagiarized. So it is important whenever you are not sure about the quality of a journal, if it is not a well-reputed journal, it is not a well-known journal, better to check is this a quality journal or not? Because contents for citation should be used only from the sources which are of high quality, which you are sure. Because if source is plagiarized, if source is fake, if source is predatory, then how you can ensure that your article is considered good quality or a genuine article? So whenever you are using any contents, you should be sure though you are using quality contents.
Which is good means impact factor, SNIP, H-index, I10 index, which should be followed for
See, to check the quality of a journal, we see two things. One is the impact factor. Another is the reputation of that. Who is the publisher? Who is the? I have given you 7-8 parameters. If you see the beginning slide, I have mentioned there are check the editorial board. Also see the reputation of the publisher, reputation of the journal. If your colleagues know about that, who else is publishing in that? So not just one parameter, no single parameter. At least 5 factors are important to consider before publishing, choosing a journal.
I think the last question, sir, means yeah. So suppose I have done similar kind of research, but one is in potato and then another is banana, for example. So
Mhm.
can it be called as duplicate research?
Can you repeat the question?
I'm telling same kind of. Suppose I have tested the anti-cancer capacity of potato and banana, and
Mhm.
I'm doing the same kind of experiments. What is done in potato, and one another set of experiment that is done in banana. So should it be called as say duplicate say work or
No,
it
very good question. It will not be considered duplicate because in such research, same materials and methods are possible. So in that case, because you have two different sets of objective, your main of focus is different. So in this case, it will not be considered same. It will not be considered duplicate. These are the two different research.
Sir, next, suppose as similar experiments are there, so if the protocols for materials and method, if I'm copying from say if both will be same, as similar type of experiments has been done, so whether it will be say coming under plagiarism, self plagiarism.
No, many times there can be same materials and methods, but try to have the language different language. Just try to make it in your own some words. Like I have made you summarizing, paraphrasing should be different. It can be same material and methods because you can't change that, but you can try to be a little different in writing. So it should not look like that you have copied from one to other.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, good afternoon. This is Chandrasri Lenka from PG Department of Science, Sambalpur University. So my question is the UGC care list, it's changing now and then. Suppose I published one article in one of the journal and after that it removed, then what will be the fate of my article? That's what.
Yeah, a very good question. Please note, the date of submission of your article, that journal is part of UGC care list.
Yes, sir.
And after that, if it is being removed, it is not your fault. So just ensure it is generally it happens not very regularly, but better to keep a record when you search in UGC care list. Generally, UGC care list also keep a record. So if the article journal in which you have published, it is there at the time of the submission of your article and publishing of your article. Later it can be changed. It doesn't make any difference. You will get a research score. Even if you have published in a journal which was part of earlier UGC list before 2019, even then you will
Yes,
get
sir.
research score.
Yes, sir. That happened during 2017-18.
Yes. So
Many
if,
research
so if at the time of publishing or your article, it was part of
Yes.
UGC care list or earlier UGC list, your research score will be considered.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Another question I want to ask. Sometimes we are writing the articles by taking into consideration, like review articles we are writing, sir.
Mhm.
So, is that going beyond the ethics of research, or is it coming under plagiarism or like that? In case of review articles.
No, review articles are well accepted articles, scholarly communications. It may be research article, review article, or any kind of short note or communications. It doesn't. Plagiarism is not decided on the basis of types of articles. It is decided on the contents.
Yes,
You
sir.
should not use the contents as per the I have mentioned in my earlier presentation. Rest, you may write review article, short communication, research article. You have to follow the same parameters. There is no difference in the research misconduct or plagiarism. Definition of plagiarism, research misconduct, or everything applied to the all types of communications and articles.
Sir, this is Ajit. Actually, I think you already answered that question, but I would like to still get further clarification on that. It's about like a journal being in the UGC list, and in the UGC care list, the journal does not figure. So, let's say at certain point of time, the journal turns out to be a predatory journal, or it is declared to be a predatory journal. In that case, do we get the same kind of API score for the paper? I think you were answering to this kind of a question, but due to my connectivity issues, I could not be very clear about that.
No problem, Ajit. I will again repeat it. If the journal in which you have published your article was there in earlier UGC list at the time of publishing of your article, now it may be there, may not be there. It doesn't make any difference. It should be there when your article was published.
Okay.
Similarly, if currently you are publishing an article, if it is part of UGC care list, it may be removed later. It doesn't make any difference. At the time of publishing, at the time of submission of your article, that journal should be part of either earlier UGC list or current UGC care list. It doesn't make difference later or before it was there or not.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. That's clear to me. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
If there is no question, may I be allowed to offer the vote of thanks? Okay, so on behalf of HRDC Sambalpuri University, I am very much thankful to you, sir, for giving your valuable time and giving inputs on how to publish quality journals. You touched upon very important points like how to select a quality journal, how to avoid self-plagiarism, how to avoid salami publication, how we can publish same paper in different languages, how to avoid publishing in predatory journals, and many more things. And the discussion and the question answer sessions was also very, very nice and very, very exemplary. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation and being part of this refresher course. Thank you for giving your inputs and knowledge. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madan. Thank you, Professor Maharana. Thank you all for